Who could, everybody saw this coming. He caught up on the news a little bit. Let's go ahead and read the story here. Verizon wants to sell Tumblr 2 years after acquiring it. I'm guessing probably because people stopped using it after they banned adult content on there, and the adult content rating system is really bad. Looks like Verizon's feeling some buyer's remorse for Tumblr. The Wall Street Journal reported on Thursday that the telecom giant is looking to offload the social blogging site a little less than 2 years after acquiring it. It doesn't sound like there's a buyer yet, and Verizon may not find one, according to the Journal. But the company is at least looking. Is Tumblr about to die? Yeah. I mean, I used it when it was first big thing. But I didn't use it all that much. Tumblr was purchased by Yahoo. Yeah, I forgot it was owned by Yahoo. It was good when it was owned by Yahoo. Like, it wasn't a great app, per se. Yeah, but what does that mean if there's no buyer? Are they just going to close it down? Well, I mean, that's more so what I'm talking about. Like, what they flagged as adult content was shit like that, too. Like, it was that, too. It wasn't just... Actually, I'm going to move this window over here. Yeah, that makes more sense. Now it looks like I'm actually looking at you guys. And I can actually see the chat on my screen. Yeah, logistically it's a bad site. But, like, the fact that it was so, like, freewheeling and everything really helped it. Oh, they do talk about it. Verizon bought Yahoo a year later, bringing Tumblr under its own corporate umbrella. The best of telecom has seemingly not been a much better fit for the site. All hell broke loose at the end of last year when Tumblr decided to ban all adult content over concerns about child pornography on the website. I mean, were those concerns even... so much of my blog was flagged as adult content, even memes. Yes, exactly. Nazis don't get banned, cam girls do, of course. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, even people who were just doing, like, general artistry were getting banned. Like, people who made their name on Tumblr drawing, their comics were getting banned as adult content. It's fucking ridiculous. Not safe for work content had been a Tumblr stapler for years, but without a place to share it, a decent chunk of Tumblr's user base left for greener pastures. Well, the thing about it is they don't even define it as, like, why that happened. It wasn't just, like, porn. It wasn't just porn. It's like their terms and their automation that they used to flag it was just like. Automated flagging systems bullshit. None of these sites are willing to source staff or review these things and then have a legit process to dispute getting banned. Yes, that's what I'm getting to. That seems to be, like, the overall problem. Again, I was talking to a friend about this the other day at work, and it's the problem with YouTube. It's the problem with Tumblr. I think Twitch is probably the best one, but even then, they have things like where they hear somebody the N-word because they hear idiot in an accent, and, because there appears to be an N before it. Yes, it's worse on YouTube. You have two problems. You have, like, the extreme overdoing of it on, like, your Facebooks and your your Tumblrs, and then you have them not doing anything at all, like on Twitter. And on YouTube, it's just this idea that, well, we're gonna ban them every now and then. We're gonna do content strikes against them, but we're gonna keep recommending their videos so you can donate to them. So it doesn't matter that you're not getting the view money, which is the least amount of money that they get. You can donate directly to them. Like, for fuck's sake. Well, Tumblr isn't dead by any means. Its future is murky depending on who buys it. Aside from adult content, Tumblr has also been a rich source of memes, GIFs, and pretty much anything else the internet has to offer over the years. Yes, that includes the infamous black, blue, white, gold dress. They mean the black and blue dress. Ooh. I hit a thing. Did I just change the title? There we go. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I need to fix this. Yeah. Let's get all sexy and nice and close and personal. Be ashamed to see it die, yeah. That's not surprising. It's upsetting, but it's not surprising. I honestly hope they find a buyer. I don't know who's going to buy it, but I hope they find a buyer. Monash is a good person to follow. There's a lot of things I don't agree with him on, but he's very good on a lot of tech stuff, especially. Ooh, do we have MR drama? No. I'm just being silly. Oh, this Adam Proctor shit was really funny. Oh, fuck that guy. I don't want to get into that. That's boring. Site like Tumblr can't make enough money to support what it needs in order to run effectively. Yeah, probably. That's a shame. What? I don't know what that's about. Trying to see what's going on. I'm so mad I never got to monetize my Tumblr. I still generate so much traffic even though I don't get online. I mean, yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of people who were really upset when they made the changes that they did. And it's kind of ridiculous that they went about things the way they did. Oh, this thing, yeah. This thing. I don't know how I feel specifically about that. I go back and forth on deplatforming. But, I think the big problem with like these sorts of shit posters is how they're handled in the general media, because our media is too afraid to call anyone really liars, which these people are. This is a good take, as always, Hassan. Yes, Louis Farrakhan, who's vehemently anti-LGBT, anti-Semitic, and praised Trump numerous times, is actually not on the right, far or otherwise. Like, I love that. It's like, you guys, he's an ally of you. He's one of those people that wants a black ethno state to go along with your white one. So, you know, maybe recognize who your friends are. Oh God, this fucking guy. I think deplatforming is largely good, but we should democratize the internet so that it's not private companies doing the deplatforming. I agree with that to an extent. I'll put it that way. I agree with it to an extent. I agree that we should democratize a lot of these systems. I would love for these social media platforms to be a lot more nationalized. Not completely nationalized, but somewhat nationalized, at least as far as who they block and who they don't. Because my fear is that, once we elect like, I know you're not for elections in a lot of ways, but once we elect a right-wing government, then that will be the predominant opinions that don't get blocked. That's my fear there. So that's where I go back and forth on it. God, this fucking shit. I don't even want to. I talked about it earlier. Fuck Joe Biden. He's the worst. Oh, what do we get here? I still can't believe that. Yeah, Chris Matthews used a virginity analogy when talking about, like, God, what was he even talking about? All I can remember is the analogy where he's talking to Kamala Harris and he talked about virginity. What the fuck is wrong? What is wrong with people right now? Why are we in the dumbest timeline? Ugh. Woke brands, Burger King. Oh yeah, there's that Caster Semenya controversy. Baby, if you're still in here, you'll probably appreciate this. Saying that she's I watched the dumbest exchange earlier. Austin Horrigan, who does the science on YouTube, really good politics guy. Kind of over he gets excited a lot. I'll put it that way. But I love him to death. He's a funny guy. We've talked back and forth a couple times on Twitter, and seems like a good dude, but just a little excitable, I'll say. He because you guys know what that controversy is. She has naturally higher testosterone for a woman. Like she's a born woman. She's not trans. I'm your backup noise. No, you'll like this. You'll like this idea. This is a black woman from God, where is she from? I missed that. But she's being banned from trying out for the Olympics, I believe it was, because her testosterone tests too high for a woman. Now, she naturally has high testosterone. So they're basically saying that she needs to take suppressants to suppress her testosterone in order to compete, because she's doing so good, and they think it's unfair that she has so much testosterone. But she's not a man. She's not trans. She was born a woman. So there's no debate here. You'd think. So there's this guy, this beefcake dude, who decided to go at this. She's an endocrinologist, and she's like, well, if her testosterone is high for her, it kind of doesn't matter. And she also pointed out that there's something about how, well, yeah, I mean, it's right here. Michael Phelps has a body that naturally produces half the lactic acid of an average person. Now, lactic acid, that's the thing that kind of it makes it difficult to build muscle. When you build up a lot of it, that's where you get a lot of your pain and everything. So basically, if he's building up less when he's working out, he's able to work out more and more extensively and more hard with less recovery time than the normal person. And that's not seen as an advantage to him. But, Caster Semenya having higher testosterone, that's a bad thing. And she's got to take testosterone suppressant. Like, for fuck's sake. It's insane. And I mean, it's very easy to make it about sex. It's very easy to make it about race. It's very easy to just say, that's a very American thing. But this guy went after an endocrinologist who was making that point and saying, if that's what's, natural for her, then that's what's natural. And this guy actually argued with her. And God, I really want to find this, because, God, where is it? Oh, here it is. Look at this shit. So here she is, like, replying to this. And this guy, this beefcake guy, it's so funny that TERFs think hormone replacement therapy is so dangerous, but they're forcing other cis women to take hormones. And by funny, I mean disgusting. Yes. It's just intellectually inconsistent. But yeah, this guy replies to her saying, isn't this just the same as not allowing men in the NFL to play with elevated testosterone levels? He's talking about steroid usage. And like, Austin's wife is like, she has naturally elevated T levels. This isn't about steroid use. Like, someone who takes anabolic steroids is actually doing damage to their body because they're not, that's causing a natural substance to be an overabundance in your body, and that's causing damage to you because you're changing the physiology of your body. What he's talking about is natural, like she's naturally that. And he says not if her natural levels are at the same levels as women who take steroids, then it's simply her claim versus science. It's not her claim though, because these people, like, they don't just get one test throughout their life. They get multiple tests and they can look like, like they're acting like this lady hasn't gotten physicals before. Like she hasn't ever gotten blood tests until she became an athlete. Jesus Christ. This guy's such a fucking moron. And she gets in there and of course she says, my previous response to your comments stand, reread them if you're confused. And, they go back and forth because he goes ahead and tries to say that testosterone is a predominant male hormone and estrogen is a predominant female hormone. She replies with, I'll refer you to my earlier tweets regarding how estrogen shapes the male fetal brain and that the fetal brain of the females is protected from estrogen. There is huge variation among and within both men and women regarding predominant levels of circulating steroid hormones. And he tries to correct her. And says, don't you mean androgenic hormones? No, motherfucker, she doesn't. Oh my God. Not to mention all that crap is happening in the womb. But once you're developing men to actually be men, and not this is the best part, and not some soft ass bitch with a penis. You're talking to a doctor of endocrinology, and you say that Men with low testosterone are soft ass bitches with penises. And women don't produce high T levels without something being wrong with them. And he said, oh, just wait for this. She says that is absolutely and unequivocally inaccurate. There's nothing wrong with natural variation in hormone levels. Yeah. There is something wrong with how close-minded folks like you respond to factual information that disrupts your worldview. Which I forgot to like this. He uses a fucking cartoon that he found on Reddit. And just wait till his explanation why he does this. The fact is, women don't have elevated T levels without having a tumor or some disorder affecting their endocrine system, he says to the endocrinologist. And men with low T levels are not athletic, masculine, or really masculine at all. None of which is true. Here is a nice diagram to help explain it to an endocrinologist. Let's see this thing. People who menstruate have the highest level of testosterone when we're on our periods. Does that sound like a masculine hormone? I know. It's... Look at this. This is Chad-splaining right here. This isn't even mansplaining. This is Chad-splaining. This is fucking Chad-splaining. But he uses a fucking cartoon. Oh my god. I gotta scroll down to his explanation of why he used this too. Oh. Baby, why didn't you say this in chat? Oh. I will say there has been a correction on the effect of testosterone on periods. So you might want to look that up, just to be sure. Yeah, totally normal way to make a point. But this, fucking... I was trying to dumb it down enough for her to understand that variations in hormone levels are not necessarily normal in male or females. Men with low T are bitches, and women with high T are men with vaginas and uterus. I'm trying to dumb it down for you. But can we have a talk? Can we have a little chat? The lady studies this. Let me tell you a little fact about the human body. No, it's fine. Let me tell you a little fact. A little factoid about the human body. You know how they always say that we're all our own little special snowflakes? That everyone's body is their own. What's normal for one human being is not necessarily normal for another. So, if you look at things like heart rates, if you look at things like respirations, you look at things like, I don't know, blood content, there's a number of things. Testosterone is one of these things that can be normal for one person and not normal for another. These tests have been done. Testosterone on its own has no bearing on how people function. Life doesn't work that way. does not work that way. You're just as much of a bitch as the rest of these people. So says this normal T guy with, unfortunately, tits. The internet is a dumb place. It is a fucking dumb place. Oh, God. Normal T. Yeah. No, true story. I saw these stories when I was in my mid 20s, I guess, where I was really worried about my energy levels and things like that. And I actually went to my doctor and asked if my levels were normal because I was really worried about it. And you want to know what it turned out? It turned out that I was in like a healthy range because these things are varied in ranges. Like a lot more expansive than what they talk about. But my range was healthy for me. You want to know what it turned out was messing with my my energy level and things like that? I was depressed. I had depression. Still do. But I didn't know that because it was much easier to believe that I was not as much of a man as I was supposed to be than that I just like have a like chemical imbalance in my brain that makes it difficult for me to be consistently happy. A disease that everyone has. Yes. But like it's people like this, whenever it's part of the reason why like whenever I see this shit I take it so personally because I was somebody who fell into that trap. I believed that there was something wrong with me that wasn't wrong with me. Because it's much easier to believe that I'm not man enough than, I have this disease that everyone has, unfortunately, at my age. And that led me down a really dark path for a while, and sometimes still does. Like, and to see the both sides of the argument masked in this way, where one guy is like arguing, no, you're wrong because men like this are bitches, a totally scientific term. And then to see an endocrinologist just go, what in the fuck are you talking about? No, here's the science behind it. None of what you're saying is true. That's literally the two sides of the argument. And now we got this girl that she wants to compete. She should be allowed to compete. I could see some of the arguments regarding transgender people or transgender women, because it's never men in sports. It's transgender women in women's sports. I can kind of see it. That's one of those arguments where you just kind of go, well, yeah, sometimes. And it becomes a difficult argument. Tough to admit, but true. But this is one where there's no argument. She was born that way. Get the fuck over it. Let her compete. There is no argument here. You're just doing it because you're bigots. Because you're mad that, a black woman from a different country is going to break all the records before a white woman can. And that she might actually be faster than a man. which would ruin a lot of things. It would make a lot of man children like that fucking beefcake dude. His heads explode. Let their heads explode. There'll be more food to eat, and less people to cover under socialized healthcare when President Bernie Sanders enacts it. I don't know. That shit really bothers me. And Igloo. And that's exactly why I take it so personally. Because it's like, I didn't realize that my body was being fucked up by something other than, like, I felt like if I could take a pill that would just, like, up my testosterone, that it would be fixed. And it was fucking stupid. And luckily I have a good enough doctor who would just be like, no, you're wrong. Basil. God. That's a drooly boy. That's a drooly boy. I don't know. We should probably get back to comp, shouldn't we? I just need to take a break because those last few games kind of wore me out. I see you. Oh God, what did Meghan McCain say now? This is a cursed image. Let's just go ahead and scroll to the top. All right. Back to it. Believe in your doctors, guys. I know there's a lot of problems with our healthcare industry. Yeah, I wonder who's to blame for that.